Hello everyone, welcome back to the quarterfinals of the Mania 7 Key World Cup 2025. We're here with not quite the first matches of the weekend, as we had one yesterday a little bit early, but we're going to be here with the first kind of blocks of matches here in the main days of the quarterfinals. My name's Potassium F, being joined here by Surf285 once again. How are you doing?
Hello, good afternoon. And as you said, this is technically the first match of the main days of the weekend. We did have one yesterday. We had Korea face
Malaysia.
Malaysia. Yep, there you go. But this time around, we'll be going to the losers bracket, and we have for you the match between New Zealand and Singapore. Both teams pretty competitive on previous MWC 7K editions. But this time around, they're not carrying their main players from 6-7 years ago. We have some newer names, especially for New Zealand. Though there is one name there that's very familiar.
Yeah, Worms being the name that is very, very old. Compared to every other player in this match, I would say Worms has been around since like 2013 or 2014 or so. Coming back for this tournament, of course. But as you said, this is a losers bracket match, so this is going to be the first team, one of these teams will be the first team eliminated in the quarterfinals weekend, while the other team will still have to play one more match, even if they do win this one. So a lot on the line here, and I think it's going to be quite interesting because Singapore did manage to win in a bit of a reverse sweep, if I recall correctly, last week.
Yeah.
Singapore, that is.
Yeah, Singapore won against Poland via a reverse sweep, and it was it was a match of all time. If I say my opinion, like, it was a pretty fun watch. It was a slight upset as well for Singapore. Like, Poland was our number 24 seed, so we'll see how they'll perform against New Zealand, that actually have had a quite good weekend last week.
Yeah, New Zealand losing to the Philippines. Obviously, nothing really wrong with losing to the Philippines in 7 key, but managing to win 2 points is actually really impressive for a country such as New Zealand, who historically haven't really found any success or any real success in most of these Mania World Cups in particular. But this is most definitely their highest seeding they've ever had in a Mania World Cup. So they are looking quite strong this year.
Yeah, regardless of where they finish, they are practically assured of their best finish in this World Cup. Indeed, they are bidding to go further than this. I think that's pretty much the goal. Same for Singapore, and it's really going to be dependent on how everything will pan out, essentially. Anyways, Team Singapore is the one who protected Rice 4. That is a weird protect. That is
double
ballsy.
Rice. I was going to say, looking at some of the scores last week, Singapore did actually beat New Zealand's team scores on a couple of the Rice picks. It really was the hybrids that I feel like Singapore has been struggling with in the past week or two. So I was expecting New Zealand to maybe go for like the hybrid / LN kind of route, whichever ones that they're more comfortable with. But
no, they know what's happening. LN.
Both teams want to play Rice. That's a really interesting kind of way for this to pan out, because I don't think Singapore looked very comfortable whatsoever on those hybrids.
LN 4, LN 1 are out. So, yeah, as you mentioned, we're going to be eating tons of rice right now.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like neither team wants to be picking these LNs. I don't doubt that those two remaining LN picks might just never be picked. We might go straight into the hybrids after the Rice.
Yeah, and most likely.
Singapore first pick, they're going to go with the Rice 4.
So, Morning Loom, our technical pick of this weekend. And as with any of the technical picks that we've seen, it gets weirder and weirder.
Technical is such a weird pick as well for the first Rice pick.
Yeah, this is something you don't open a match with.
I'm trying to wrap my head around what just happened with the protects and bans and picks, and everything is kind of going everywhere. I mean, Singapore was looking really good last week on stuff like the Rice 1, the speed picks, or even like kind of the mixed Rice picks, but I'm not so sure about tech. We'll see how this goes for them. Obviously, they're probably feeling comfortable on it if they're picking it so early, but New Zealand definitely have their own comfort players when it comes to the Rice. Oh no, never mind. We're not actually going to be seeing Worms play this. We're going to be seeing Do You Fart and Robeat sticking in here. Maybe the harder map pool benefiting the younger players here.
Most likely. But anyways, first chart, and again, as I mentioned, this isn't usually something we'd see a match. Not something we'd see as a match opener.
I mean, I guess the rationale I could kind of think of is that this is maybe a little bit less physical, as obviously the technicality makes up for that, but maybe Singapore struggling a little bit with the physicality with some of the other picks might be the case here. But early on here, it looks like New Zealand having a bit of an accuracy lead off the back of Origami Best, and Origami Best actually finds a miss. Oh, wow, 3 of them at once.
Do you find the doggy that sucks, dropping their combos as well. So it's only Robeats remaining, and also the only 99%, as I mentioned, that they dropped to below 99%. Everyone's struggling to maintain their accuracy for the most part. Origami Best finding another drop, and this is helping New Zealand gain the lead a bit more.
Yeah, Singapore players struggling to keep up their combo. They haven't been able to hit the 400 combo mark for a while, just as Origami Best does now, but New Zealand definitely with 2 very strong combos, the only full combo on Robeat's side. And this lead is quite large for a map that's only 2 minutes long. Oh, there goes the full combo.
No more full combos. Origami Best, consecutive misses from them. Robeats as well trading. Do You Fart finding a miss, but everyone's just dropping their combos like flies now.
It goes to show there are no breaks when it comes to technical maps. You can't relax, even though this might be a technically less dense section. Oh, those are some rough misses, but still staying in favor of New Zealand, though. 30,000 points just about, even though Robeats misses again. These misses are being traded by Singapore, and New Zealand always feels like they have one of their players holding the combo. Do You Fart right now being the one hitting 700.
And they're also maintaining their accuracy very well compared to basically everyone else in the room right now. And this is really just New Zealand wanted to take this home at this point. And Do You Fart finally drops their combo, but that doesn't really matter as New Zealand picked up their first point.
That's a break point as well. That was Singapore's first pick, the one that they felt they were most confident in. And I mean, they did have some strong, 910k scores on both of their players, but Do You Fart was the real difference maker here with only 3 misses. Those doing the heavy lifting there.
So now, New Zealand.
Oh, so they are picking hybrids.
Yeah, they're going hybrid. I'm actually surprised that they... Oh wait, I think the theory here is that Ellen, when it's inverse for Singapore, I think they'll have to go get that out of the way. And most likely New Zealand is banking on the fact that Ellen 4 is just such a hard skill set to do. Especially with how Ellen coordination's definition has changed for this year. It's going to be reliant on tons of longer LNs with tons of chord usages for the most part. Like it's not as similar as what we had from Avril, the earlier LN coordination picks from previous years, Hanano Yokosoku, Yokinota, and all of those similar stuff.
I don't know about you, but I love the fact that Avril is still like the baseline.
Yeah,
like it had such a big impact when it first came in MWC that now that is just the comparison.
Yeah, I think there's like there's the 2024 and prior definition, just Avril.
It's the Avril pick. That was what, 2018?
Yeah,
when that was picked.
Yeah, it should be 2018 or.
That's 7 years ago now.
I mean, for those who haven't tried playing Avril, it's in the loved section.
It's
Feel
it's
free
what
to try. It's only 3 stars.
That's like 2 stars.
Oh wait, 2 stars.
Not even
Yeah,
it's
it
not
was
even
2
3 stars. Yeah, easy map, right? For beginners.
Yeah, 2 stars, but it's actually semifinals level for MWC.
Yeah, don't search up the MWC scores on that one as well. There was some fails on that, I think, and like B ranks and C ranks.
Yeah, no, it was really funny. But anyways, back to this match. We have Isophone, a chart by Lenpai. We usually don't associate Lenpai with charting LNs, putting LNs in their charts, especially in recent years. So I guess one way you could put it is this is sort of an LN Pi is back. For those who are into the 7K charting scene, they'll probably know what I mean. And look at the LN usages. Robeats finding the first drop.
Yeah, some really tricky LN usages, as well as like kind of some parts where you have to hold it for like a second longer than you might want to release. But that miss earlier from Robeats was traded out from Origami Best, so 1 piece per each team. Robeats does double up on that though, and this lead is 1,000 points. I think it's going to flick over to Singapore.
Yeah, Singapore is now the one carrying the lead. They have, but their accuracy is kind of below New Zealand's right now, and despite that though, New Zealand cannot maintain their combo at all. I think we'll keep on seeing the scores move around as these players keep on missing, I would think.
Yeah, Origami Best does trade out a couple of these. Robeats missing again. It's only Doggy that sucks. He's the only one. Never mind. That was holding the full combo. That was inevitable, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. Like the chart is pretty difficult as it is. Like there's a lot of mini jacks, lots of very uncomfortable finger usages. Really, like there was some emphasis on your middle and ring fingers, and for those who are new to 7K, those are not the easiest fingers to move at all.
Yeah, give it a try yourself.
Motion.
Yeah, give it a try yourself on your table. It is really hard without significant amounts of practice, but we're seeing these trades coming out, but the accuracy advantage being well in favor of New Zealand means that the more these players, these teams trade out their misses, the better it is for New Zealand over time.
Yeah, actually, might as well mention, I think this lead is practically at the back of Robeats, 99.3. That is a really good run. Coming from them, Origami Best keeping on dropping their combo, and that's just going to help New Zealand basically take this home. Like, regardless of what happens now, the lead is pretty big.
Yeah, and this kind of goes what I was saying at the start of the match as well. A little bit of discomfort when it comes to like the trickier hybrid maps for Singapore. Not entirely comfortable managing to hold on to like combo or accuracy on their side as a team. Although that said, Doggy that sucks with the 0 misses, almost the FC if it wasn't for, I think that was just 1 slider break at some point in the middle of the map there.
Well, that is Isophone. New Zealand picking up their second point. Again, Robeats with the highest score in the entire... Actually, not the highest. No. It's not the highest. Doggy that sucks.
Yeah, combo wins.
So it was an Ellen break. Yeah.
But that's 2-0 right now for New Zealand. Singapore now get their own pick. I can only imagine Singapore's going to keep up with the Rice.
And there you go. They are going for...
Rice 1, I think, should be a really good pick for them out of the ones available here. This was one of the maps that they performed pretty exceptionally well in last week, and actually beating New Zealand's team score by a fair amount as well. But it remains to be seen whether they can keep that up, because of course this is not the same map or difficulty as last week's Rice 1, and of course New Zealand being the higher seed overall tends to give me the impression they might scale a bit better into this one, as we see Worms being swapped in the first player swap we're seeing in this match.
Worms, the veteran player from New Zealand, like coming back for this tournament, as you mentioned. I mean, I think I remember we were talking about this after the match happened yesterday, like about the older players in the 7K World Cup. Like, lots of them coming back to play just for this tournament, really.
Yeah, and I mean, the cool thing about Worms is he's been around for so long. I remember when I first joined the community in 2014, I think he was already kind of like one of the best in New Zealand. And it's kind of taken this long for him to have a team in New Zealand, if that makes sense, because 7Key New Zealand has been not very strong for a very long time until very recently with all these new players coming up like Robeats.
Yeah, like usually when you talk about mania in the Pacific, well, aside from the Southeast Asian countries, like you usually think of Australia as well, but unfortunately, yeah, we aren't able to see them. But anyways, back to this match. Worms finding the first drop.
The second.
Is that
Doggy That Sucks
second
did get one. Doggy That Sucks did miss very early on, but Origami Best has another one as well. So 3 misses altogether. Accuracy is fairly close between the two teams, but Singapore with a slight advantage is giving them the lead for now, as Worms does find another miss.
Actually, Singapore maintaining pretty much the same accuracies, like around 99.3, but Origami Best finding a pretty sizable one. Worms, unfortunately for them, this does trade, and it's a pretty decent drop for them as well. Origami Best and Roe Beats. I mixed their usernames.
Origami Beats.
Yeah.
Robest. And it's actually flickering in favor of New Zealand now as Origami Best drops in accuracy a bit more, but another trade of misses. This is basically tied, less than 1,000 points. As we're getting to the end of the map, it's already almost over. And any small mistake right now could decide it.
Yeah, Doggy That Sucks doing very well to basically maintain an advantage, and Roby's finding a drop. It will just help the Worms as well. That's a full team reset for New Zealand. Singapore on their way now to pick up their first point in this match. They just need to not find the meltdown before this start ends.
That lead just built itself so quickly. 30,000 points doesn't tell the story of how close that was until the end, but the team miss from New Zealand really did it, while Doggy That Sucks and Origami Best held on for that little bit longer.
Yeah, reverse choke there for Doggy That Sucks.
Yeah, actually, Doggy That Sucks missed in like the first 100 or 200 notes, and then proceeded to FC the entire map, so that is definitely the MVP there for this match, and you can see why they have been going for the rice here. They're keeping it close in the match so far, but they still do have to win one of these breakpoints now, as New Zealand picks the LN map. Okay, we're going to be seeing LN Density coming out.
This is our... Actually, you mentioned that New Zealand will be going more for the LNs and the hybrids. I think this is them just wanting to just go for what they think Singapore might not be able to keep up with. The LN density charts are in this World Cup are pretty rough, pretty abrasive just overall.
Yeah, a bit more physical, and I guess harder to be comfortable with, and I guess that's where you really want to be attacking some of the Singapore players if they're not comfortable with the LNs. But I mean, I guess the thing that I was thinking about in terms of hybrids is that we know that Singapore is struggling on the hybrids, but they haven't played LN in a while. Last week, Singapore did not play a single LN map, and their LN qualifiers are actually pretty decent. So we'll see if they can keep up that overall on these ones. They're maintaining the same 2 players. Okay.
That intro. Okay, Robeats as well.
Everyone's struggling on this. Do You Fart's the one that's holding on right now.
Yeah, the intro is particularly dense already. Like it does the, like it's just right there. It throws you directly right to the deep end. Do You Fart though? As I mentioned their name, they did have a pretty good start. But again, this is still a pretty manageable lead.
Yeah, Origami Best down to 96% briefly there. Is going to get the opportunity to recover a little bit now in terms of accuracy. But another miss does mean that New Zealand is going to pull ahead a bit more. Traded misses. All of New Zealand, all 4 players missing.
Everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, Everyone's struggling to maintain their combos. Really, the longer holds here, pretty much making this extremely physical. Like you mentioned that the qualifier scores for Singapore were pretty decent, but you have to remember the qualifiers are around what we're seeing right now. Like quarterfinals and qualifiers usually are around the same level, polling wise. But as it stands, New Zealand is just a bit more stable than their Singaporean counterparts.
And you can see it mostly. It's not just like, you know, the misses. It's how significant these misses are. Like if you look at New Zealand's accuracy, Robeats in particular has been missing quite a lot, but this accuracy has been staying exactly the same for the entire map. Like high 98s, it's not being tanked whatsoever. These are really clean misses. Whereas on the Singapore side, we see Origami Best still tanking a little bit in accuracy, struggling to bring it back up. And that's what's producing this score lead.
Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if if they keep up their pace of gaining accuracy, they might be able to 99 this at the very end. Like they're very stable right now. As you see, Team Singapore just keeping their full team resets. Like they cannot build their combos at all. But such is the difficulty of this chart. UFAR unfortunately dropping the pretty sizable combo, but that doesn't really matter. They're going to MVP this chart pretty much.
Yeah, super safe lead. Yeah.
And this is the biggest score gap we've seen this entire match.
Yeah, for sure. It seems like LN might be the place they want to go, which was kind of why I was so surprised at seeing New Zealand protect a Rice pick earlier, because I don't think Singapore was ever banning a Rice pick. And hang on, wait, which Rice map did New Zealand protect again? Was it this one?
Yeah, I think it was both Rice. Singapore protected Rice 4, and then New Zealand protected Rice 2.
This is Rice 2.
Yeah, so this is
okay.
Both protects, yeah, both protects are picked.
Okay, by Singapore, that is.
Yeah. Not everyone knows this, but I'm pretty sure those who are paying enough attention, yes, you can pick your opponent's protect.
Yes, you can.
That is also why we have this thing called the mythical third ban, where you could protect something and then eventually not pick it should the match go the distance.
The bluff protect.
Yeah.
Protect it to threaten the other team, like, oh, we're actually really good on this, but you're not. That would work super well with SVs though. Not that there's any SVs in this tournament, or 4K for that matter, but
yeah,
you know.
Wait, that's a protect. Isn't that a spoiler?
Wait, what?
Oh wait, yeah, it was announced a few weeks ago. But for those who don't know, that's a spoiler.
I have no insider information on this. I have only been reading public sources.
Yeah, it was announced publicly, yeah. Anyways, here goes.
Okay, Cord stream time.
Worm's finding a drop on the Cord Jack transition of the UFART as well. No more for combos in New Zealand's side of the screen. Origami Best also finding a drop, so it's only Doggy that sucks. With a sizable combo. I presume this is still an FC, but with a 98.9. Just almost hitting 99%, and I presume they should be with this section. Origami Best a better accuracy between Singaporeans, also finding a drop, so that should give New Zealand the lead, but it's going to be pretty slight.
Yeah, the accuracy right now in favor of New Zealand off the back of Worms, and if there's anything that I know Worms for, it's Rice ratio and accuracy, and he's showing that right now, 99.73. Next highest being on Team Singapore, 99.3 for Origami Best. But enough for a 6,000 point lead, as Worms does find a miss. That's a pretty big one, but traded out immediately.
Worms and Origami Best finding trades. And actually, New Zealand has, well, aside from the drops from Worms, like, they practically stabilized, really. Better accuracies for the most part. Worms still getting a mid 99% accuracy.
Oh, and these brackets are rough. Origami Best drops a lot of 100s, I think, in one of those brackets there, those double streams.
This is really like the abrasiveness of the chart really hitting them. Worms, unfortunately, dropping their combo on that bracket transition. But at this point, like, New Zealand will just continue pulling ahead because regardless of the amount of misses that New Zealand gets, the drops that we see from Singapore will just continue increasing the lead here for New Zealand.
Yeah, look at the accuracy gap on Worms right now. That's almost a whole % above the second best. That is a massive accuracy difference. And was that an FC from too far? No, it was one miss at the start of the map. The reverse choke.
Yeah. Like big combos from Do You Fart and Doggy That Sucks. Origami Best with an 11 miss run on their side and Worms. How do you act? How do you act this chart?
Yeah, ratio difference you can see, and the 200 count also is significantly outlier right here. But that is going to be a really solid breakpoint for New Zealand. They are in the lead 4-1. They have their own map. There is something that I always like to keep track of. Does New Zealand want to connect 4?
Well, I think they're...
I don't think they'll pick Rise 6. That would be a really silly pick, but they could.
They could, yeah.
They shouldn't, but they could connect 4.
Whoa, they are! They are going for it!
Okay. New Zealand wins the Connect 4 match. Yep. Singapore will have to win a few picks and then pick Rise 3 and Rise 5 if they want to connect it up.
Someone, yeah. Well, that's a sizable roll number there, Origami Best.
Wait.
But anyways, yeah.
What? Actually, is that number just too big to?
Yeah, but I think so. That's a bumpy...
Yeah. Okay. So there's no way you actually rolled 38 out of that number, right?
Would be funny though. But anyway, so Rise 6. And honestly, I do think this is a good pick for them. This is a faster chord stream pick, for the most part. Like patterning is a bit more comfortable just to balance out the increase in speed compared to what we had from Rise 2.
And I mean, it makes sense after just winning the other chord stream pick. You know, right away going into the other one. Couple of early misses early on here, but it looks like New Zealand gets the better of those as Origami Best does drop down to 97%. Should have enough time to build that back up, but is going to need to try and build up that combo pretty quickly. Oh, another miss.
Yeah, so I think it's only Doggy that sucks really with the full combo now. Not the best accuracy though, and considering that and Worms just, you know, carrying on from what they did on Rise 2, we already have 27,000 points between these two teams.
Yeah, and another short map as well. We're already halfway into it, and this lead is 40,000 points. Oh, rough miss there from Origami Best. Unfortunately, down to 97%, so this accuracy lead is pretty large. This is pretty massive, actually, in favor of New Zealand.
Yeah, and Worms finding a combo drop, as I mentioned their name, but not really dropping accuracy at all. Like, it just stayed there at 99.48.
Yeah, I mean, so far in this match, the full combos have not been the issue, right? It's okay to miss here and there, as long as they're clean. That's really been where New Zealand has pulled ahead. Their misses have been super clean compared to Singapore.
That's another drop from Worms. Origami Best trading it. And the lead will just continue to increase now.
Oh, the FC's gone.
Yeah, no more full combos. You fart with what is practically a reverse choke. And I'm surprised that this might end up. Oh wait, it's not. LN2 is still the widest score gap for this match.
Wait, this worm score is very, very
Yeah.
close to what it, like the same 200 count, same miss count, same 300 count, and same act just
Yeah.
about.
The consistency, really.
But you know what? Like the New Zealand team, like the past two maps have reminded me. They've reminded me of obviously, you know, maybe not quite as high level, but reminded me of the old classic Malaysian team, where Chiwi was getting the accuracy and Neo was getting the combo.
Oh yeah. Okay, I see what you mean. Or another one was Liang Layajan and QX,
Oh, and Turks.
or Turks, yeah.
Yeah, back in the day before Turks
the
had
day.
the same level of act that he does now, of course.
Yeah.
Or even Zhangfan, if we're talking extremes
Oh yeah.
in terms of combo players.
The other one I could remember was Gora and Dozer back in 2019.
Oh damn, we're
Yeah,
going far back now. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so we have the OSU original for the MWC 7K 2025 quarterfinals weekend, Evolutionary Anima, by one of our friends in the Mania community, Akiri.
And the second last of the rice picks left over. So Singapore do have quite a fair way. They need to win another 4 in a row to force the tiebreaker, but there's only 2 rice maps. So they are going to have to win both of these rice maps and 2 hybrids, I guess, if they want to come back in this one. So we'll see how it goes on this. A bit of a mixed pick this one is, so a lot of mini jacks, and I think that's going to result in quite a lot of misses for both teams here.
And there you go, that's the first one of presumably many from the UFART. And Worms as well dropping their combo on that on this pretty tricky pattern. Like, I'm actually surprised that Singapore is carrying 99.2s across the board. But I guess like Singapore is favoring these more quote unquote wackier rice picks, really. They're doing very well on this pick. Origami Best finding a drop, but Worms trading it as well.
Yeah, misses being tied out overall, and the big thing right now for Singapore is their accuracy is way better than it was in previous picks as well. Doggy, that sucks. I don't want to mention the name too much, but that accuracy is doing massive amounts for Singapore right now. And more trade misses coming out.
The Origami Best, and there you go. The only full combo left is gone. Doggy, that sucks. Finally finding a drop, but wait a minute.
This is getting close. The lead just halved all of a sudden. A few misses in a row from Singapore, but it still should be in Singapore's favor unless they both miss again. Traded out by Worms, but Dufart is holding on to that combo. This lead is shrinking really quickly now, and maybe some stamina issues.
Yeah, the combo drops on Origami Best, not really helping Singapore. And as it stands, New Zealand actually has the better overall accuracy between the two teams on average. Origami Best is already dropping out 98%. And these trades are just going to help New Zealand now. Doggy, that sucks. Origami Best, that's a full team reset for Singapore. And New Zealand has practically stabilized. Do you fart? Another, what is essentially a reverse choke from them.
New Zealand's just better at the end of maps, it feels like. Like, they just get better as the map goes on. And that is going to close it out. Another breakpoint here, and 6-1 at the end for New Zealand, managing to win in this losers bracket match. Unfortunately for Singapore, that does mean they are eliminated here, despite another MVP performance for Doggy. That sucks.
Yeah, Singapore, they have the players to keep up. I think, like, in between this and the next World Cup, I'll be pretty excited for Singapore should they keep improving their 7K, really. And these are pretty newer names, so I presume these are some of the younger players as well in the entire roster. So
Yeah, and
Singapore has it going for them.
I'm sure plenty of us know exactly how fast some of these younger players can improve as well. So by next year, we'll see how they perform, as they have definitely pulled their weight for their seeding, especially as well. But it is going to be New Zealand moving forward. They are going to be playing one more match this weekend, I think tomorrow, against the winner of Russia versus Sweden.
Yeah, Russia versus Sweden is going to be one heck of a close match, I think. And honestly, here's a dynamic about the losers bracket this weekend that we might want to keep watch on. It's the fact that the losers bracket teams will have to play at most 2 matches. So the first match, some of them might want to keep their scores some of their scores in the back of their hands, but if they go the distance, it'll give their potential opponent some information. So that's a dynamic that we'll have to see this weekend.
Yep, knowing information on the other team's scores is very, very massive. So I'm sure New Zealand's going to be looking at that match between Russia and Sweden, which is going to come up later today, it looks like. And they're going to be scouting out their potential opponents for tomorrow. But it looks like that's going to be the only match that we have for this block. The next one is going to come up in about 5 hours at 14:30 UTC. I think that would actually be 6 hours away, if I'm not crazy.
But what's not crazy is the fact that the OC Mania 7K World Cup 2025 team support banners, you can buy them on the OC store, and you can buy your country's banners or your favorite players' banners. You can buy multiples of them. You could even stack multiples of the same country's banners on your profile. And if you happen to buy the banner of the winning team of this World Cup, they will stay on your profile until the next Oceania 7K World Cup. So that is pretty much it for both of us.
That's going to be all for us for now. We are going to be having a bit of a break, so make sure you come back for those few more matches. We have 4, it looks like, in a row then. And all of those, I believe, are losers bracket matches. So fun eliminations to be had. And we will see you very shortly.